What is good? What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the DJ Theory. This is actually my first time introducing this podcast as such. Before, I was just kind of doing a kind of random thing where I just would hop on this mic and just talk for a while, not actually have a cohesive plan. We're going to try to be a bit more organized going into the year 2024. So this is called the DJ Theory. In case you didn't know from the title, if you're listening to this on Spotify or on YouTube, welcome. If you don't already know, I am a DJ. I go by Jay Bonix. I live outside the New York City area market. Okay. Well, I'm hopefully you had a good New Year's Eve celebration, whether if you were playing at a venue live or if you were on vacation or spending it with friends or family. I was with my fiance. We went to a very, very warm and tropical place called Quebec, Canada, and it definitely wasn't cold at all. We did go to Canada, but no, it was most definitely not a tropical paradise. It was freezing, although it could have been a lot worse. It was mostly like in the 20s, which is not. Like it can get very, very cold there, and I'm talking Fahrenheit 20s, not Celsius. I had a great time. Speaking of New Year's, I mean, traditionally for DJs, if you work in nightlife, New Year's has always kind of been, as far as I know, like one of the busiest nights of the year. Or more importantly for us, one of the highest paying nights. Usually you can get a rate at minimum like 1.5x what you make. You should be making twice as much as you make per night. That's like the general rule, I think, for like a good rate for New Year's. I missed out on that this year. Chose to spend it with my fiance, and I don't have any regrets. Of course, like going on vacation, we both had a great time. We're both people who kind of we're workaholics in our own capacity. She works at least 12 hours every day during, Monday through Friday. And honestly, she works on the weekends too, because she doesn't have, not to talk about her too much, but, she has, she's big girl responsibilities, and, the work does not really, unfortunately doesn't end, once, I think she's scheduled like 9 to 6, but she works, past midnight a lot of the times, and works on the weekends as well. So she's working, and then, I work, depending on the time of the year, like from Wednesday through Sunday sometimes, so my weekends are, I go to work during the night and I sleep during the day. And so balancing those two schedules is challenging. But luckily, like I said, we were able to kind of have our own, time on vacation, just relaxing and not worrying about work. And we got to enjoy the New Year's night by ourselves, and that was special. Like I said, we went to Quebec, Canada. If you don't know, that is the French-speaking part of Canada. That's not the sorry part. My accent was probably not that good. So it very, very different, if I dare say. I don't know if Canada could. I don't know much about the country. I'm speaking out of ignorance, if I'm being honest. But from what I do know, I don't really think Canada has like one stereotypical type of culture or vibe, if you will. Like, yeah, you have the major cities and stuff like that, but it seems like there's just it's a dare I say an alternate version of American culture. Again, speaking out of ignorance here, but anyway, we were in the French speaking part. Okay, so and the like very, very French. Like they make laws to make sure you not speak French per se, but like I think, for instance, if you own a business, like you have to have French as like your first primary language in the way. So if you like you're on a restaurant, like the menu must be in French, or like at least the primary menu has to be in French, and you can offer a secondary menu, or like a second, like you have a sign, like the sign needs to be in French, but you can have like English subtext. But they're very, very French. Which the point is, I don't speak any French. I speak a little Spanish, and by a little Spanish, I mean I can like ask like, where's the bathroom at, or like I'm hungry, and that's about it though. Like I think that's one of the regrets I do have about when I went to college, or even when I was in high school. I don't think I really took my foreign language classes that seriously. I took a little bit of Spanish, and then I decided to take the very useful language of German. So that worked out well for the countries I visited, which have consisted of let's see, I've been to Cancun, Mexico, like a couple times, and then I've been to Quebec. So French and Spanish, both languages I do not speak at all. Anyway, off of that, the point I'm trying to get at is I took off New Year's, and which is a very unconventional thing to do as a DJ, because we're all about making money, working those big nights, but I was kind of ranting at this point, but I took off. I really enjoyed it. Like I think doing this thing, we're so always adamant about maximizing the amount of nights that we work, maximizing the profits that we can get from the bookings we have, which is a great mindset to have, and is very useful. But at a certain point, I think it's very easy to get lost in all that. And the older that I'm getting, I just turned 27, and I don't consider myself to be old by any means. I'm sure kind of dare I say, use the word older people maybe listening to this are gonna cringe at me even considering that I'm calling myself old as 27. But life changes, perspectives change, priorities change. I started doing this when I was let's see, a senior in high school, and then I got moved on to doing this more professionally in college. And then I long story short, once I moved out at my parents' house after graduating, I did try to do like the professional route. Long story short, that didn't work out. So I moved out to a college town and with one of my best friends and pursued the DJ thing. And it's a whole other kind of podcast, but since then it's been a constant grind, and between starting out working very hard, then COVID hit and not knowing what to do, but again, through all this stuff, it's like, if you want to be a working DJ, you need to, you got to fucking work. So, but it's so easy to get lost in the chaos of nightlife and the chaos of the grind. And there goes my my dryer. If you can hear that in the back, I apologize. But yeah, it's so easy to get lost in this industry of just doing day in, day out, finding the next gig, finding the next work to pay the bills, which, don't get me wrong, like that is it. Yeah, that's damn important. Like, if you can't feed yourself, if you can't pay rent, if you can't pay your utilities, like, nothing else really will make you happy if you can't just have the necessities that you need. That aside, it is also, I think, vitally important to remember what really does matter most. And this isn't a self-help podcast, and I'm not a life coach by any means. But taking that time for family and friends, and if you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a fiance, a wife, husband, it's important to invest yourself in that as well. If not, that should be your top priority, depending on what stage of your life and stage of the the relationship they're in. Like, that needs to be something you invest just as much as your career. And maybe, you can have a different take on that. And then it's not like it's all this or all that. I think it's finding a healthy balance, and that balance that you have will change throughout your life. And like I said, when I started out doing this, I was a young kid. Now I'm a slightly older kid or young adult. I don't know. Some people think a lot younger than I am. I guess that's a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed my New Year's. I have absolutely no regrets about not working that night. So now it's the year 2024. We're all moving forward, and I'm looking very much forward to making this year substantially better in every way, and improving my skills, improving my business, elevating my career in every capacity that I can. I think, some people might say, like, before the new year starts, you need to be thinking, what you want, like at the end, last week's of December, people will talk about, you need to start thinking about how you're going to, what do you want the next year to be like, and how are you going to improve things? And, yeah, it makes sense. But I think practically speaking is during those last weeks, you're literally, what is going on? Well, for me, like, my birthday's in the middle of December, so that was a thing. And then, you got all the holidays. You got Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festiva. What's that stupid? Is it Festivus? Is the Jerry Seinfeld holiday or whatever it is? Yeah, all that chaos is happening, and it's like I don't have the bandwidth to think about what's gonna happen after all that. So I got through all that lovely stuff with family, friends, lots of traveling, and lots of last minute gift shopping, and mostly getting help for my fiance to do all that stuff, because I'm sure if you're a guy out there, you would agree that 90% of us are horrible at figuring out what to do for gifts. It's women are very much better at the whole thinking about family events and all that stuff. I think as guys, and we're all different, okay, but for the most part, I think we can get very narrow tunnel visioned-esque the way that we kind of think about things, which is very useful for a lot of stuff. But when it comes to finding a gift for your mother for Christmas, maybe not so much. But anyway, yes, yeah. So anyway, New Year's, holidays, all great, all over, all important to invest yourself in. But now, what is this new year gonna be like? Because I know I've talked about in some of the other videos and podcasts I've made that may have seen a bit, let's just say, not optimistic. I had a video that go, I would never say viral, because it's really not that big of a deal, but it got a couple, I think I got like 30,000 views or some stuff, something like that. So that's a lot for me. I was surprised. But also, it was kind of weird because it was slightly a negative video where I was kind of talking about this state of nightlife, and specifically I was talking about the rates of how much money DJs make in the New York City area market, which doesn't necessarily just apply to New York. I would say any major city. I was talking. If you didn't listen to it, I was basically talking about that the rate hasn't gone up in decades, and this has been confirmed. I had so many conversations with DJs and nightlife professionals that I both know, and once I don't, they just kind of hit me up, and I've literally had texts and messages on Instagram of screenshots of payouts people got literally in the 80s, and it's the same thing that people are getting paid now. Now, granted, was that payout at a bar? Was it at a bigger club? Is it 100% comparable? I don't know. Okay, but it's the general premise. But anyway, my point is the video was kind of talking about, not exactly a very positive thing, because it's kind of depressing. And I had like the video itself, like the longer version was about like 12, 15 minutes. But of course, I had to make a reel, and I think you can make it like a minute and 30 now, but I spliced it to be down to a minute. So it was me like just spewing out crap from the video, just rapid fire, and like most short form content, like it was very no, I could have talked about this issue for hours, and there wasn't a lot of detail in it, and there's a lot of things you could pick apart. And that led to not a lot, but a few people commenting and pointing out that the technicalities, the things I got wrong and all that, and which is fine. I was annoyed because I tend to get annoyed at everything, but for the most part, like I had a lot of positive feedback. People seemed to agree and share it a lot, and said they enjoyed the content. So yeah, but anyway, moving forward, I would hope stuff that I do, that I share, that people like to reshare, or support. I kind of want that to be more positive focused. Like I don't want to be known as the guy who bitches about stuff in the DJ industry, which is though could be like I guess beneficial for like the algorithm, because of course negative content gets shared, I would say, more than positive content. But I'm not trying to be the guy who just complains and yells in the corner. I'm trying to add value to the industry, to the people that I know. And of course that does mean, occasionally pointing out the things that are wrong. But I'd rather like give out information to people that, that's good. Like, hey, this is what you can do to help yourself. This is what I would look out for. All that stuff. But anyway, that's just my general thoughts. So now that we cleared all that out, I think I want to just going off of what I already talked about here, because we're about 17 minutes into the podcast. So let's just stay on something I kind of was talking about earlier, and then we'll figure out what to do after that. If anything, might call it shorter. But again, I didn't work on New Year's Eve. And like I said, I don't have any regrets for doing that. I very much enjoyed myself. But I wouldn't say that I wasn't a bit bummed out when I was seeing everybody's stories on Instagram of like, they're not the ball dropping, but like the balloons and the cryo and all like the pepas or the I don't know, whatever songs are dropped. I don't really know what I would drop if I played New Year's Eve, because like there aren't that many songs that have the same type of hit. Like last year, it was like, I think Pepas would have worked. I mean, Pepas can still always work, but I'm Good by what was it, David Guetta and that pop singer? I don't remember. But that definitely would have worked. I don't know. I mean, it still works, but it's like that's not really fresh. And so, I mean, you could drop, let's see, maybe some of the Sexy Red songs like Ski or was it Rich Baby Daddy or something like that. But the thing is, like with those songs, they're very particular types of vibes. And I feel like, so you're like, people who are like into music culture will know them. Of course, like if you're into hip hop, you definitely know that stuff. If you're a frequent night owl or party goer, you would appreciate that. But the thing is with New Year's, like a lot of people go out who don't necessarily do go out on a regular basis. And so they might, nothing against Sexy Red, but her, what would you say? Like the blanking here. Not verses, choruses for Sexy Red. Yeah, they hit. They're catchy. But a lot of her songs, when it goes in the verse, what's to say? It gets a little different, and it gets a little like if you're like let's just put it this way: if you're a girl, and it doesn't have to be a girl, just for example, you're a girl who requests Taylor Swift, or One Direction. You might be somebody who, when you hear the verse of a Sexy Red song, now maybe you got past the chorus, maybe like you heard the chorus on TikTok, or like you heard it somewhere and you're like, oh, I feel I'm cool right now. But once that verse hits, once that off tempo rapping, talking about Sexy Red's personal experience growing up, and the various fellas that she's been involved with in relationships, you might feel a different way, or might not know how to feel in that situation, which I find absolutely hilarious from my perspective, because it's so funny. I'll just say it's funny to watch very, very white people react to very, very non-white music, because they are just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to react, because I've never felt this way before. It's like almost like somebody who's only had, well, let's put it this way. Let's imagine somebody who's only ever had salt or pepper to season their food. All right. And they think that is like what they consider to be like an exciting way to season and to enjoy food, is salt and pepper. Nothing against salt and pepper. They're the fundamental seasonings of food and are very good. I enjoy both. However, if that's all you've ever experienced, salt and pepper and nothing else, and you walk into a restaurant that spices their food well with spice, like real spice, like anything that's not salt and pepper. If all you've had is like hot dogs and pierogies, and then you go into a Cajun restaurant, well, you might have an interesting experience. Same that if all you've ever listened to your entire life has been Taylor Swift, One Direction, Justin Bieber, stuff of that sort. And maybe when you get like really moody, you listen to like Mumford and Sons or Lumineers. Nothing against any of those. I love all of them. But if that's all your palate has ever consisted of, and then you walk into a place and then they're playing some Sexy Red or some like Dembo, some El Alpha, it is hilarious to watch the reactions, because it's just as if like someone who's only had pierogies or hot dogs just swallowed a jalapeno pepper. Because sometimes I mean it's that you can see like the I don't know, it was just, dare I say, pain on their face, just like, but it's more like confusion, because it's sometimes like they want to go with it, but they don't know how. It's like, I want to enjoy this, but they start like looking around, like, and they like kind of like half-ass dance, but it's never like anything that really makes sense. It's always like kind of like a bop, if you will, an imitation of something that they've seen before. It's like, this is that thing that people do, but I don't know what to do here, so I'm just gonna bop. Not to stick on race here, because as a white man, a straight white male, I don't really think I should be talking about sensitive topics like this, but I do observe people and different groups of people, and I can confirm there are cultural differences and dance culture and nightlife, for sure. Does that mean every single person acts the same? Absolutely fucking not. However, when it comes to generic Taylor Swift girls, they tend to do the same stuff. Do they all like the same thing? No, but it is what it is. I am fairly rarely seen somebody who wants only Taylor Swift come up to me and ask me for something completely opposite. It just doesn't happen often. Has it never ever happened? No. People like different stuff, and some people like a wide range of music. But if you just really like hot dogs and pierogies, you might not want that taco with jalapeno peppers on it. So, anyway, yeah. So, how did we get to this point? I'm talking about food and Taylor Swift girls. Yes. But yeah. Anyway, so. Oh dear God, how did I get here? I'm trying to think. Might edit this part out, maybe not. But yes, now I remember. I was talking about songs for New Year's dropping. Yes, yeah. So the point I'm trying to make here, when I was, this whole stupid rant about me talking about Taylor Swift girls and pierogies and hot dogs and jalapeno peppers was about the songs dropping for New Year's, because my point was, because a lot of people who don't normally go out did go out for New Year's, and the whole point of dropping a song during midnight is to hype the crowd up. And the song usually is a hit of, I guess technically at that point, the year prior, so it would have been a 2023 hit. Not all the time, but usually that's what you do. My point was, it might be difficult to do that because I don't really know if there would be something that would work on like a massive generic basis from that year, right? Again, there was Peppa's, there was I'm Good, and then from this year, your Sexy Red hits. I correct me if I'm wrong. I really can't remember. Oh, of course, I want to rock, Lil Uzi Vert. That could have been a good option, but again, that song is very hip hop. It's Jersey Club hip hop trap esque. Like, it's not. It would hype the boys up, and some girls, but some people would be like, I don't. But it might work because people are just going crazy. If it has energy to it, people might go with it no matter what it is, because it's just that part of the night. Right. So, but yeah, I think that's, I've talked about this before. Like, I think it's kind of the problem here. Like, we don't have a lot of like club hit songs that come out. The end of the year, I think Nicki Minaj dropped her album, and she came out with there's like a Jersey Club kind of song. And she had like, was it Fuck the Club Up or something like that? It's like, which those are kind of cool and useful a bit, but and then he had Jack Harlow. I can't even remember what the song's called, I'll be honest. But it's like da 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 da. Put your loving on me, baby. I'm not a singer. Please don't record that. But yeah, that's a good one. It was like 105 BPM. You can go into like My Type or Yeah, or the same shit we all do to get out of that song. But it's groovy. It actually has a beat, and it's danceable. We all love the 100 BPM stuff. But yeah, again, that's the problem is just a lot of those tracks don't come out. It's been a lot of like weird, slow, trappy hip hop stuff. Like, I think the only song I really gave a shit about from Travis Scott's album was Fiend, and the one I play is an edit anyway. So, and again, like, you drop it, the chorus hits, and then nothing else. Then it's like people look at you or they don't know what to do, and the same with Sexy Red. Like, you got Ski, and then it talks about. What is it? What's the lyric go? I don't fucking know. It's about hood something, ratchet, coochie, mama. I don't fucking know. I apologize if for everyone listening to this, because this might sound like I'm just like the most asinine person in the world, and I will take that critique because, I can't wait to listen back to this, because this probably sounded like the most stupid, asinine podcast that's ever been created. Anyway, so I do apologize in advance for my commentary here. But the point is, like, a lot of these songs, like, there's nothing to it. It's like a hit, you know, little catchy verse, and then a bunch of this blabbering. And only if you're in a certain circumstance under a certain type of crowd will that blabber even carry any energy or have any like cohesive like relevance. And when you are in that moment, it works and it keeps working, and like you can play dare I say you can play the entire song and it will you don't have to cut it out. But, you know, I know people who have made edits of like songs like Ski, and it literally only has the chorus. There is no verse. There is no, dare I say, ratchet like breakdown. Like like it's just the Ski part. Because some crowds literally can't handle the spice. It's too much. They get too awkward. You'll have you even have the managers and venue owners come up to you and look at you like, what the fuck did you just play in my venue? And you know, you go, sir or ma'am, that is called today's music. It is a work of art, and I don't know what your problem is. But all right, let's leave it there because we're 30 minutes in, and you know, there's lots more to talk about, but I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you all. Hope you enjoyed your holidays and so forth. And I hope you're able to find a song to play when the clock turned to midnight, and hope it went well. Hope you know, we got paid well too. But it is time to move on, guys. There's too much chaos going on in the world, too much stuff to worry about. But you know, I'm not saying don't worry about it or don't care about it, but I will say focus on yourself. Focus on this new year being profitable, and you know, you're taking the right direction in your career. Start playing at different venues and double down on the ones that you are playing at. Add more value to them. Stay healthy. And that's a whole another thing I want to talk about too, because that's very important. Stay healthy mentally. Stay healthy physically. Stay healthy socially. Yeah, make sure you talk to your friends. I'm horrible at that, and I'm horrible at talking to my family. So that's a goal for this year for myself. But anyway, I wish you guys nothing but the very best. I will talk to you soon. Once again, you can find me on Instagram at jaybonix. That's JAYBONAX. As well as, like I said at the beginning, you can find more of my content on Patreon. So that's patreon.com/jaybonix. JAYBONAX. This should also be on YouTube on some capacity. So, you know, subscribe, like, all that shit. I really don't care. Like, but honestly, just connect with me because I love meeting new DJs throughout the world, especially in my own market. So, yeah, you guys are all awesome. Thank you for hitting me up on let's start more conversations. And like I said, let's have a great year. All right, I'll talk to you soon. And like always, peace.